So you want to launch an Indiegogo campaign in 2022? Well, you're in the right place. In this video today, we're going to be covering exactly how to do so, the things that you want to keep in mind, and really what's going to be most important and crucial for successfully launching your Indiegogo campaign this year. So without further ado, let's go on ahead and let's get right into it. How to launch your Indiegogo campaign in 2022. There's going to be a few things that we cover today, guys. And really, I'm going to break things down to cover exactly what you need to know and make it as simple and easy as possible for you to understand how to successfully launch your campaign this year. So the first thing you're going to need is a prototype or an MVP, a minimal viable product. Okay, so a tangible prototype that looks similar to the actual product that you'll be creating at scale after the campaign ends. Now, that doesn't mean that the product has to be fully functioning, working, or even look 100% like the final product, but what it does need to do is look good enough or look close enough to the final product to be able to take photos and videos with. And the reason for that in 2022 is if you can't show that your product is real, no one's gonna believe you that it's real. Even if you have every intention in the world to fulfill the product, you're not just gonna, raise all this money and then screw people out and not actually make it. You're a trustworthy, honest person who's, giving it your all, your heart and soul to bring this idea to life. If you don't have proof that it tangibly exists, then people won't believe you. They're gonna be skeptical, they're gonna doubt if the product's even real or if it's even gonna come to life, and at the end of the day, they're not gonna back your campaign. This isn't new for 2022, having been in this space for the past 5 years. Never have we seen a successful Indiegogo campaign, or really any crowdfunding campaign for that matter, be successful while having just renders, right? Like, it's just not gonna happen. Now, that being said, renders are great to have in addition to actual, photos taken with the prototype, but not just by themselves. So even though Indiegogo will allow you to launch without having a prototype, it's just not gonna work. So that's the first point, guys, is you need to have a tangible prototype that you can take photos and videos with. The second thing that you're gonna need is strong photo and video assets. Piggybacking on what we just talked about, what does bring strong validation and confidence from consumers is really well taken creative assets. In particular, you wanna make sure that you have variance amongst your creative assets. Speaking in terms of photos, you wanna make sure that you have a variance amongst lifestyle-based shots and also product-based shots. So product-based shots, these are close-ups of the product, with a either white background or a still background. Lifestyle-based, these are people using the products in everyday, life situations. The reason that you wanna have variance, guys, is so that your brand touch points, and in particular your campaign page, can really tell a story. Let's just say that you only have one type of shot. It's really tough for a potential, consumer to really envision themselves using your product. They need creatives that make it really easy for them to see themselves and really feel themselves using the product, really envisioning kind of that aha, kind of moment that your product solution provides. For video, you really want to make sure that you get your point across, your unique value, your core competency, your brand quality and value, your unique selling points, what makes you special, the values that you hold, and really something that intrigues, people coming to the page to want to back you and want to be part of the movement. As we all know, video is extremely powerful in doing so. That being said, a lot of the times we see founders or campaigners putting a lot of upfront capital into videos that kind of just do too much, right? Like, you don't need an Emmy-winning, video to be successful on crowdfunding. And in fact, photos are actually more important than videos when it comes to successfully launching your Indiegogo campaign. The reason for this is, in my experience, I've never seen a product launch be successful when we run ads for the campaign and only video does well. Unless your product is extremely technical and requires a video to explain how it works, photo performance is crucial in determining audience interest, which we'll talk about more here in a second. So in conclusion to this point, you need to ensure you have high quality photos and variance amongst them so that your potential backers can really envision themselves and more so feel themselves using the product. And like we say, video is important, but photos are really king when it comes to creative assets. And last but not least, in order to successfully launch your campaign on Indiegogo in 2022, you are gonna wanna build a pre-campaign community of people begging to buy your product before launching. And this is really the most important step that you're gonna be taking. Running pre-campaign advertising to build a pre-campaign community before launching your campaign is literally the catalyst to all of the successful 6, 7, 8-figure launches you see on Indiegogo. No one can be successful without it. It's just not possible in 2022. Back when crowdfunding got started about 10 or 15 years ago, things weren't like this. In fact, things were extremely different. You could just make a campaign, put it up, launch it, not running any ads or building any community, and it could actually be really successful. successful. And even so, it was hit or miss. Some would do good, some would do bad, and there wasn't really any reason or system tied behind it. And fast forward to today, and really from my experience working at multiple agencies, running my own, and getting to meet some of the most successful people and platforms within this space, I've been able to develop a precise methodology of how to launch with predictable success. And this methodology is really fueled by building a pre-campaign community, which provides a few crucial things. Firstly, it provides learning. Are people actually interested in your product? Should you even launch via crowdfunding? And if so, then you're able to learn who's interested and why they're interested, so that you're able to position and align your messaging, your creatives with really what you learn the market is most interested in. A pre-campaign community also provides leverage so that you can hit your funding goal on day one and raise in the platform rankings, garnering free traffic and really giving your campaign the momentum and validity it needs to be able to be successful. How Indiegogo and crowdfunding works, guys, is if you don't come close to hitting your funding goal on day one, then it's really tough to dig yourself out of that hole and reach the funding goal or exceed it without spending a really, just copious amounts of ad spend moving forward. And even more so, thinking of it like a dance floor. If only a few people are out dancing on the floor, no one else is really going to want to join. But if that floor is packed and the DJ's playing rinsers, aka you hit your funding goal and really smash it out of the park on day one, then more and more people are going to be willing to come out and dance, aka pre-order the product. And lastly, a pre-campaign community allows you to earn money or even go cash positive before launching your campaign. And just to explain how that happens with our monetary reservation funnel, I'm going to keep it high level, guys, just for everyone's time. But if you do want an in-depth training of exactly how we go about doing that, I have a free case study link beneath this if you want to check that out. So essentially, we ask people to give us their email address in exchange for an exclusive discount when we launch. We then ask those people who give us their email address to give us a monetary amount to be able to purchase the product at the best price point possible when we launch. And traditionally, asking for an email address has been the standard of pre-campaign, community building. In particular, having a low CPL or cost per lead. But in 2022, a low CPL does not mean anything. In fact, we've combined campaign data and found that only 1 to 5% of people who just give an email address actually convert when it comes time for the product to launch, while 30% of people who give an email address and a monetary amount converts when the product launches. So being able to hone in on this and get as many folks as possible to give you that monetary amount is really what's going to be most important and crucial for your Indiegogo campaign success in 2022. So I hope this video provided value to you guys. Like I say, there is a free case study link beneath this video if you want to learn more about how to set up your own Facebook ads, landing pages, the emails. Really, we cover everything in depth, your creative assets, how to set up your photos, really everything that we talked on today, guys, in a lot further depth. Like I say, it's all linked in this free case study beneath. Please remember to hit that thumbs up button, hit the subscribe. We are just getting started here in this channel. And with that being said, I look forward to seeing you here soon on the next one.